Right, so what's up? Welcome back to Jordan's Guitar Channel. Today we're going to be talking about humidity and temperature and how it affects your guitar. So I am playing the LTD JM2 today through the Eagle Fireball 100. And the reason I'm playing this guitar is it's been in the case for 3 weeks since I made that last video. I had a talk with a tech friend of mine because I said, bro, this guitar came back from Sweetwater Repair. It's still not great. The action sucks on it. And it's horrible. I said, but I need to fix it. I'm tired of sending this guitar back and forth. And so we had this long discussion, and we talked about how Indonesia is a subtropical climate, how the moisture content in the air is going to be much higher. It's a warmer, hotter climate. And so I came up with this idea. I'm like, you know what, man? I've got these D'Addario Humidipacks. I said, why don't I put one in the case and leave it for the recommended 3 weeks? And I put it in the hottest room in my house because it is wintertime here in Texas, and we actually do get very cold here. And so I did that and left the guitar for 3 weeks, didn't touch it. I left it in the case with what's called a hydrometer, which is this little thing right here. Now, if you can see on that side, that's going to be the percentage of humidity in the air, and that's going to be your temperature. Now, you're going to notice that the humidity is quite low right now, and that's because I run a humidifier here in my studio, and even though Amazon and all of its customers said it was silent, it's not. So I turned it off to make this video and to show a point. When you're running the heater, especially this time of year, or even your air conditioner, what's happening when you're running that? It's sucking all the air condensation out of the air and blowing hotter, drier air into your home. So what that's going to do is effectively lower the humidity level. Now, the temperature is a little lower right now because our homes in Texas are not built for this type of weather. They're not insulated for, it's like 10 degrees outside with a wind chill of like -5. So we're not used to this stuff. And the homes, like I said, the homes in Texas are just not built for this stuff. So I'm also running a space heater, and it's not quiet either. So I've turned that off to demonstrate just what little time turning those things off, what sort of difference it makes. So anyway, that's a mini hydrometer. I will leave a link down below in the description box where you can pick these up. D'Addario Humidipacks. There's 2 levels. There's Restore and Maintain. This is the Maintain. So if you are able to maintain a constant humidity level and temperature in your home, but you feel your guitar is just not getting enough, throw one of these in the case up underneath the neck or the headstock and leave it sit, and you put the hydrometer in the case with it and check it every couple of days and make sure that it's getting the humidity level and temperature that it needs. Now, why is that important? Well, look at it this way, man. So your house is made of wood and guitars are made of wood. So what happens to wood when the humidity level changes and the temperature changes? The wood expands and contracts, right? So what does that mean for your guitar? It means the neck is going to move, which means you're going to have to constantly do setups. You're going to have slight buzzing that occurs, and all this time and energy wasted on something that you can control with humidity. And that's how important it is and how easy it is to do. So just for example, let's say you play your guitar one day and it's playing fantastically, and then you have a cold front that comes in and your heater kicks on, and the next day you go to pick up your guitar and there's like a slight buzzing and the tension's a little off and it's not playing as well as it did the day before. So what you want to do before you start getting out the tools and wrenching on the truss rod and stuff is grab one of these Humidipacks, grab your hydrometer, throw the guitar in the case with that, and leave it sit for a couple days and come back and check it. Now, if you are going to be storing your guitar, like I said, for this one for 3 weeks, what you want to do is tune the strings down a whole step. That way you're not keeping tension on a guitar that's not being played, and let it sit. Now what I did with this one, because I've had so many issues with it and I wanted to do this experiment correctly, is I measured everything. So I measured the neck relief, I measured everything, anything that could be measured on the guitar. I did set it up to factory specifications, and after 3 weeks I got out of the case, tuned it up, and the guitar was like a whole different guitar because it needed that much humidity. I do have a hydrometer up here on the wall. It's a big clock-like looking thing, so I can just look at it and pay attention. Depending on where you live, you may live in a very humid area. So most of the time Texas is very humid, especially where I'm at. Sometimes we can get up to like 80% humidity. So over here in this corner away from the instruments, I run a humidifier and a dehumidifier, not at the same time, but depending on what time of the year it is. So that way I'm able to maintain a proper level of humidity, which depending on where you live and what your preference is going to be between 40 and 60%, which can be, like I said, measured with the hydrometer. And for me personally, I like to keep my home somewhere between 65 and 75 degrees, 70 being the average. So 5 degrees below, 5 degrees above is not going to make that big of a difference, but it will keep everything stable. And you want to do that too because, you know, your amps and your cabinets and stuff made of wood, right? Now granted, you're not going to see as much movement as you would on something like a guitar neck, but it is an absolutely good idea to keep that constant moisture, humidity, and temperature for your amps as well, for your tubes. You know, I know a lot of you, turn your heater off before you leave for work in the morning, etc., etc., and you come home to a cold house and you go to turn on your tube amp and want to play it. That's one of the fastest way to blow out tubes. So all this stuff is very important, and just maintaining your equipment and taking care of it, saving a lot of hassle, saving twist of the truss rod on the neck, because a lot of times it just doesn't need it. That wood is moving on its own because you're not controlling the humidity and temperature. And I know I've said those two words like 100 times, and I'm really trying to drill that into your head because I want to help, man. And I hope this video helped you in some way. I will leave links for the hydrometers, these little ones. You get like a 4-pack for like 14 bucks. I'll leave links down for these are the refill packets. They're about 18, 19 bucks off Amazon. The starter kit comes with like a little velvet bag that you're supposed to keep these in. I'm sorry I didn't say that earlier. But you can buy like these little velvet bags like from a card or party store or from the dollar store even, and keep the humidipack in there. Let me take one out so I can show you what it looks like. It's just a little paper packet, and it's got some sort of gel in there. And like the Maintain is a 2-way humidification system, so it adds or reduces humidity based on what it needs. Magic, right? No, this video is not sponsored. Nobody's paying me to do anything. It's just, all the issues I've had with the guitar, and now able to, at least for the time being, rectify issues with the guitar using humidity. I figured it would be vital that I put out this video to try to help and to inform. So if you have any questions or comments about this process, or if you need some recommendations or whatever, dude, please feel free to comment down below. Feel free to come on to subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. It helps me grow this thing. We're almost, the channel is growing more than I ever thought it would. And I'm really surprised and grateful for everybody's coming out and helping. I do have some really cool stuff coming to the channel I am working on, but I felt it was pertinent just put out this video before I move on to something else. So that's been it, guys. Like I said, comment down below any questions or comments. And until next time, guys, much metal, much love, and much peace. Later, y'all.